Hello everyone, welcome to our Bible story time. Today we are exploring the book of 1 Samuel. In this wonderful journey, we will meet people who prayed, listened to God, showed courage, and learned important lessons. As we listen to these stories, we can discover how God cares about our hearts and guides us every day. Many people pay attention to what they can see, such as appearance, strength, or talent. But God looks much deeper. He sees what is happening inside our hearts. Throughout 1 Samuel, we will see that loving God, trusting Him, and caring for others matter much more than looking important on the outside. Hannah was carrying a heavy sadness in her heart, so she came to God and prayed sincerely. No one could hear her words, but God could. This story reminds us that we never need fancy speeches to talk with God. He listens carefully, even when our prayers are quiet whispers from deep inside. God answered Hannah's prayer and blessed her with a son named Samuel. When Samuel grew older, he helped at God's house and learned to serve faithfully. His story shows that children can make a difference too. Small acts of kindness and helpfulness can honor God and bless the people around us. One night, Samuel heard someone calling his name. At first, he did not realize it was God speaking. With Eli's help, Samuel learned to listen carefully and respond. Sometimes life is noisy, but when we slow down and pay attention, we can better understand God's guidance and wisdom for us. The people of Israel wanted a king because they wanted to be like the nations around them. Samuel felt sad because God was already leading his people. This teaches us that following the crowd is not always the best choice. God's plans are wiser, even when they are different from everyone else's. Saul looked like the perfect king on the outside, while David seemed like an ordinary shepherd boy. Yet God saw something special in David's heart. He trusted and obeyed God. This reminds us that character is more important than appearance. A loving and faithful heart is precious in God's sight. When Samuel visited Jesse's family, many strong and impressive sons stood before him. But God chose David, the young shepherd who was caring for sheep. People often overlook those who seem small or unimportant. God can use anyone who trusts Him, no matter their age, size, or position. Goliath was huge and frightening, and everyone was afraid of him. David saw the same giant, but he also remembered how great God is. Instead of depending on heavy armor, David trusted God's help. When we face difficult problems, we can remember that God is bigger than anything that scares us. David's victory did not come from his own strength. It came because he trusted God completely. We all face challenges that feel too big for us. When those moments come, we do not have to face them alone. We can pray, trust God's power, and move forward with courage and faith. Jonathan and David shared a friendship built on loyalty, kindness, and trust. Even when life became difficult, Jonathan encouraged and protected his friend. Good friends help each other choose what is right and stay strong during hard times. We can follow their example by showing kindness and support to others. Although Saul treated David badly, David chose mercy instead of revenge. He had a chance to hurt Saul, but he refused. David showed self-control and forgiveness when it was not easy. His example teaches us that kindness is powerful. We can choose grace and patience, even when others are unfair. Looking back, we see many important lessons. Hannah trusted God in prayer, Samuel learned to listen, David showed courage, and Jonathan demonstrated faithful friendship. Together these stories remind us that God cares about our hearts. The best way to live is by trusting Him, obeying Him, and loving others. Having a heart like David begins with simple daily choices. We can talk to God in prayer, do what is right even when it feels difficult, and forgive others when they make mistakes. As we practice these habits, our hearts grow stronger in faith, kindness, and trust in God. This final reminder tells us that God is the true King over everything. He knows us personally, hears our prayers, and sees what is in our hearts. The most important message from 1 Samuel is to trust God, listen to Him, and follow Him faithfully each day. Thank you for watching. God bless you. See you next time. Goodbye.